You guys are the homeowners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So you get a complete system. It's clean water through every pipe, faucet, and fixture in your house. You get an opportunity to tell other people about us, which is the idea, word of mouth advertising. The best part about it is that we take money that you guys are spending right now. Each and every month you spend a certain amount on hard water, right? Laundry and cleaning supplies cost, bottled water, plumbing, appliance wear and tear. The idea is to take that money and invest it rather than throwing it away. And then finally, a reference for future sales. The only thing we ask is that I have both you guys here for the demonstration, and I'll get through it quick. You're gonna love it, it's awesome. But when I'm done, I want a yes or no answer. Yeah, JT, sounds great, we love it, we want clean water. No, it's not for us. You're not gonna break my heart if the answer is no, right? If it makes sense, great. If not, I'll get out of your hair, but we are gonna ask for a yes or no answer tonight. Cool?
Fair.
All right, awesome, fair enough. All right, so first test we're gonna do is a water hardness test. Water hardness is measured in grains per gallon. We're gonna use that chart right there from the Water Quality Association to gauge where the quality of your water is and how it rates on that chart. The easiest way, and this isn't in your demo, but the easiest way to explain this to somebody, if they're like, what's hardness?
Yeah.
You guys know what a Tic Tac is, right? A little breath mint? Tic Tac's equivalent to a grain. We're measuring grains per gallon of water. So basically what we're doing is we're measuring how many Tic Tacs worth of stuff you have dissolved in every gallon of water. Make sense? We'll come back to that. But in all these tests, we're going to use two different types of water. We're going to use eco-refined water out of this system, which I'll explain here in a second. We're going to use just the regular tap water. Were you able to hook that up to your sink at home?
No.
Yeah? No?
No.
Did you use the pump?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll show you
You explain what the mini is?
after the hardness.
Okay.
And my miniature explanation is probably different than what I sent you guys because I expanded on it. Because I didn't think it was enough. It was Kevin's simple explanation, which we'll go over. But it was a little confusing to customers, so I'll go over it and show you guys. So yeah, in all these tests, we're going to take a sample out of the system and a sample out of the tap. I don't have the glass vials. I know how much I got to put in here, but all my reps broke them, so we got to use these for now. All right, so in this test, we use 3 different solutions. First one is a buffer. It's going to equal out the pH level in the water or prepare the water for testing. We're going to put 5 drops in each. Second one's an indicator dye. It's going to tell you if the water's hard or if it's not. If it turns blue, it's clean and clear. If it turns red, it's hard water. We're going to put 5 drops of this in each too. You guys see the difference right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got 1 blue, 1 red. All this tells us is that I have clean water with no pollutants present, and this tells you that you do have pollutants present. Now what we want to figure out is how hard that water is. And by the way, George, if you ever get this to where it's purple,
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. It was
right, your system needs to be cleaned. We'll go over that today.
Yeah.
But you'll notice if I had 1 drop of this,
Uh-huh.
we're going to get that bright blue color.
Oh, okay.
So it's just slightly hard,
Yeah.
right? But we'll get that bright color with 1, and that's what you do in front of customers. You just
Gotcha,
say, hey, my
gotcha.
system's dirty.
Yeah.
We'll just add a drop. You
I
can
was
say-
wondering because I was like, man, this thing is like purple.
Yeah, it's supposed to be blue. We'll clean your system.
Yeah,
today.
that's cool.
So we're gonna add a drop to this at a time until we get that blue color, and that gives us our grains per gallon. So if I had 5 drops and it turns blue, then it's 5 grains. If I had 10 drops and it turns blue, it's 10. Right? Make sense? So we're gonna add 1 at a time until we get that blue color. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 grains. Right? For city water, that's crazy hard. National average is about 4. So we're over twice the national average. And I'm sure you see it, right? Build up on the dishes, rings in the toilet, build up in the showers. But it's all a result of the hard water. And we were talking about the Tic Tacs. What that means, if you were to take a gallon of water out of your faucet and put it in a pot, put it on the stove and turn the stove on high and let all the water boil away, from that 1 gallon of water on the sides and the bottom of that pot, you're gonna have 10 Tic Tacs worth of leftover stuff. Right? Same stuff that you see on your shower door and same spots that you see on your dishes. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of prove a point, if we add this eco-refined water back to these, stays pretty much the same, doesn't it? Stays blue. Well, you need to clean your system so it turns a little red. But if we add the tap water back, we get that red color right back because we're just reintroducing those pollutants back in the water. Pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me explain what I mean about EcoWater. This right here is a very small version of what we put in the home. The big unit, it's about waist high. It's got a computer on the top. Looks a lot different than this thing, but the filters are the same. there's 3 different medias that the water runs through. First is called a quartz underbedding. It's actually made of quartz crystal. It does a couple things. It does what we call polishing the water. We get our water from the Rio Grande. It's dirty, right? It's got a bunch of bacteria in it. The city cleans it. They add massive amounts of chlorine. When you add chlorine to dirty water, it kills the bacteria. When you kill bacteria, it creates a gas called VOC. It stands for volatile organic compounds. The quartz is going to remove some of that. Also removes chlorine gas and very moderate amounts of sulfur. Stuff in the middle looks kind of like applesauce. Those are called stratified echolite resins. They do a couple things. They remove calcium and magnesium like your traditional water softener would. They also remove red ions, clear ions, and petroleum byproducts. They do that without putting all the salt back into your water. We'll talk about that in a second. Black stuff on top is coconut shell carbon. It's very similar to what you're going to find in a Brita pitcher filter or one of the refrigerator filters. It's for chlorine mostly. It also removes some other chemicals that are in the water. So ultimately the water that runs through all those filters, they get dirty, right? They get to a point where they can't absorb anymore. Before that happens, the computer on the top of the system sees that. It's monitoring the water. And it will flush that system with a potassium solution, not sodium, like a regular softener. What the potassium does is it basically allows all those filters to let go of everything that they've absorbed. That goes down the drain, the system recharges, kind of like a battery. Unlike a battery, it lasts forever. We put a lifetime warranty on that media. The only thing you as a customer have to do to keep that thing running is add potassium to it every 4 to 6 months. Make sense?
What happened to your salt system?
What do you mean?
You only use potassium.
We sell a potassium-based system. We want to differentiate ourselves from a salt system. Here's something that you guys may or may not know. Potassium can ruin the warranty on a traditional softener. Kenmore, Whirlpool, the resins in those can't handle the potassium. So one of the cool things about our system is it will extend that lifetime warranty on the ERR R20 for a lifetime if you use potassium with the system. The other thing about potassium in our system too that I don't know if you guys know, but our system uses between 1.5 pounds and 2.5 pounds of potassium every time it regenerates or cycles. A traditional softener, a Colgan unit, Kinetico unit, use somewhere between 4 and 8 pounds of salt, right? So much more efficient than you're gonna find with a traditional softener. If you ever get that question in the house. All we wanna do is make sure that people understand that we're not selling a softener, we're selling a refiner.
Okay,
Make sense?
it does.
So,
Is your potassium here like 5 times what your salt
it's
is?
$30 a bag, but here's
Yeah.
the thing, guys. If you're gonna use a softener, it's gonna use 6 to 8 pounds anyway of salt. You're gonna put 2 bags of salt in it a month anyway, right? Wouldn't you rather put 2 bags of potassium, spend the same amount of money and do it every 4 to 6 months than doing 2 bags every month of salt? I would. It's the same amount of money, less hassle. Plus you're getting cleaner water. Right? So, second test we're gonna do is called the precipitation test. Precipitate means to settle or separate. I love this test. They do this in colleges and high schools all over the country. It's a really good way to see what's in your water. Again, in this one, we're going to take 2 samples. We're going to take a sample out of the tap. We're going to take a sample out of my refiner here. Let's actually do this.
So because that looks a little more like
It
like
doesn't change.
applesauce on the bottom.
It doesn't change. It's just a newer system.
Gotcha. But that one's just a little more cleaner, right?
Yeah, this one is. Yeah, I regenerated not too long ago. All right, so in this one, we use 2 different solutions. First one's a yellow dye. It's just going to go as yellow background on the water so we can see clearly what's in there. We're going to put 10 drops of this in each. 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Second one's a separating agent or a precipitating agent. Again, we're basically going to pull everything that's dissolved in that water together, and it's going to settle down to the bottom, actually showing you guys what's in that little bit of water. It's very similar to what happens when ice freezes. Right? Do you guys have an ice maker? Usually they do. You go grab an ice cube and show them their ice is super cloudy, because it's gonna be, right? When water freezes, it precipitates. So all the stuff that's in the water, when it freezes, it solidifies, and that's where that cloudiness comes in your ice cube. If you have clean water, the ice cubes are much clearer, right? You're gonna notice some air bubbles in the middle, but they're much clearer, and the taste is a night and day difference. So this is gonna pull everything that's settled in or together in there, and it'll pull it down and settle down to the bottom. We're gonna put 10 of this in each too. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This takes a little while to get the results we're looking for, so we're going to kind of let it do its thing. We'll set them to the side. And you guys will see a difference right away, right? That one's kind of foamy on the top, and that one's not. But it does take a little while to get the results, so we'll let it do its thing, and while it's doing that, we're going to test for chlorine. Okay, you ever seen one of these before?
Pool.
It's a pool tester, right? Or a hot tub. And there's two different tests on here. One's for pH, which is this side. We're not gonna worry about that. And we got one for chlorine here on this side. And you can see at the bottom, it goes from light yellow up to dark yellow, right? And here in the middle, between 2.0 and 3.0, it says ideal. That's an ideal level for the swimming pool or the hot tub. So this is what we're gonna use to gauge where the chlorine level's at. If you had to give me a guess on where that was gonna be at, where would you think? Randy,
Ken, he
fella?
asked you a question.
Yes, I'm dealing with the.
What about you,
install
George?
issue on
So I'm gonna
You're
say
good.
it's
Yeah.
like around like 2 or 3.
Really?
Well, hopefully.
You know what it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
You would hope it would be a
I would
swimming pool.
Yeah.
We're gonna put 5 drops in here.
So
Takes
you're
about-
actually using a pool tester.
pool tester.
Is that what we use, Ken? Don't we buy a special chlorine thing?
No, we have.
If you guys aren't
chlorine
using a pool
measurement.
tester, you need to be, because it's ideal for a swimming pool, and that's where you guys will be too, right? They're $8 a piece. Get them for your reps. It's powerful to show someone that.
Are we
this-
using that, Kenny? What are we using?
Probably just a glass
No, we just do the OTO
and the
test.
glass, right?
Yeah.
So do the swimming pool tester. Show them it's ideal for a swimming pool, because it is, which is crazy. I don't let my dogs drink out of the swimming pool, and that's basically what you have running through your house,
that's
right?
yeah.
It's the #1 reason in the country for dry skin. It's the #1 irritant for skin issues like eczema and psoriasis. My mom, when I was little, we had a pool. Guess what? When I got out of the pool, what'd she tell me to go do?
Take a shower.
Go take a shower. It's not gonna do you much good right now, is it? Shower in the same stuff, right? And I'm gonna show you guys why this is so hard on your skin.